What's up, everybody? This is Whiskey in the Six. I'm Rob. Looks like we're a little choppy to start off, but today I have Mel, the Basement Drammer. He started his own YouTube channel. Mel, why don't you say hello?
How you doing? Whiskey Fabric. Rob, thanks for having me on. As you know, I'm new. I think I'm my like 7th review, something like that. So really new to it, and I really appreciate you having me on, giving me a chance, with your viewers. Give me a chance, I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure, buddy. You deserve it. You've supported the entire Whiskey Fabric, basically every single channel that is in the fabric. So we all appreciate it, and I appreciate having you on the channel tonight. So you were kind enough to send me 3 samples. Elmer T, which was pretty high up there, and I've obviously done some work to it. I have the glass right here filled up. All right, that's the Elmer T. We also have Willett Bourbon, also a difficult one to get. And I'll let you show the bottles in just a sec. And then to cap off, we're going to do the Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Rye. As some of you may know, I've done the Single Barrel Select, and I will be doing a Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof very shortly. So why don't you show everybody the bottle of the Elmer T. and tell us how you got this gem.
All right. This is the Elmer T. You can kind of see it's got a picture of him in the back there. It's pretty cool. 90 proof, it says distilled, aged, bottled, Buffalo Trace Distillery, Frankfort, Kentucky. I got this actually when I was on vacation. I was in Cape Cod, Provincetown, Cape Cod. I was walking around, and I happened to pop in a couple of stores, and I saw this, $39.99. And I've been looking for it forever, as most people have, and I found it. So I had to drive, 12 hours from my house to find it where I live, 4 hours from Kentucky, and I can't get it here. So I know a lot of you can't, but this is good. So I picked up two bottles of it. So this is only the first one so far.
Atta boy. 2 bottles. A lot of people would go crazy for that bottle. I know a lot of people that love bourbon that wish they had access to that particular bottle. Then next up, like I said, we have the Willett Bourbon. Maybe you can give them a look at what that looks like. These bottles are both almost impossible to get in Canada. I don't know too many people that have got them. So yeah, why don't you go ahead and show them?
Yeah, this is the Willett. Looks just like the pot still, obviously with the long neck and the bulb there. It's got a little gold symbol on it, Willett. A little leaflet just describing the history of Willett Distillery, some stuff on the bottle. It says it's Willett Kentucky Straight Bourbon, 47% by volume, pot still reserve, and here it says small batch on the top and gives you the batch number. So it's a nice, pretty heavy duty wood cork there. So it's pretty cool bottle.
How much did that run you, if you don't mind me asking?
This one was $44.99, also in Cape Cod. I believe it was in Dennis, Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
Sounds like Cape Cod's the place to shop for some bourbon.
Yeah, you got the ocean and real good lobster and good bourbon, obviously. So, yeah.
All right. Everybody knows what the Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Rye looks like, so we'll look at that a little bit later. Let's have a look at the Elmer T. You have a glass poured there?
I do. Neat. Nice sketch test dummies going.
There you go. I have mine here too, actually. It's right over here.
Nice, buddy.
And I think we're both wearing Trenny and C shirts today too.
yeah, I got a Trenny and C, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really the only one that fits right now. I ordered this one big. I only had the 2X in this one. I'm trying to lose some weight.
Well, is there any word on this being a weeder? Because I know it's Buffalo Trace, but the mash bill is undisclosed as far as I know. I haven't been able to find the mash bill for this one.
It's from my knowledge, it's not a weeder, but it is not the mash bill 1, which is the Eagle Trace. The Eagle Rare, the Buffalo Trace, and the E.H. Taylor. That's their batch 1. It's not that. I know that.
Okay.
But it's it's a high rye from what I can remember.
Okay.
So
You definitely get that grassy note common with a rye.
yeah,
What else?
like a sweetness, like a hay, even like a grainy hay.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. All right, well, I'm going to dive in. This one's bottled at 45%.
Yeah, 45.
90 proof, right?
Yes, sir.
That one's super sweet. Peter White, pretty much the same mash bill as the Blantons and Rock Hill Farms.
Yeah, I can see that. It has on the nose, I didn't pick up the alcohol much, but right away I get it, and then it fades. Fades into like a cinnamon.
I would say it's definitely not chill filtered, because if it's the same mash bill as the Blanton's Gold, it's much thicker on the palate. And the Blanton's Gold is bottled at a higher ABV, but the Blanton's Gold is chill filtered for whatever reason.
Really?
So, yeah, not sure why.
Hmm.
I'm liking this a lot better than the Blanton's Gold, that's for sure.
Yeah, I've had this, I got back in June. This is one of my favorite standard flavored bourbons with your, you get the caramel and the wood, the charred wood. This has been one of my favorites right now.
Yeah, this one's actually really nice. There's a really sweet dessert-like note that I'm picking up on the back end. I can't put a finger on what exactly it is. It's really good though.
Yeah, it's kind of towards the line of like a saccharin, like a almost like an artificial sweetener.
Yeah,
I'm picking up maybe.
I think I'm getting a bit of like a maple, to be honest with you, like a maple syrup type taste.
Yeah, because there is that wood in there, that like kind of fresh wood.
Yeah. Really nice. Well, I'm not going to mark this just yet. Maybe I'll save my mark for the end of the review, but I'm going to write it down, and I'm going to take a sip a little bit later on and see if it changes. But for me, that's being written down at the moment.
Yeah, you were saying you think it's about a 12 year, so 12 minutes, it's probably not been 12 minutes yet. It's been in the glass, right? So
yeah, it's about that. I mean, we're about 10 minutes into the review. Well, 8 minutes now into the session here, and we started the conversation a little bit earlier when I poured these out. So I think we're getting close to about 12 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it says it's about 12 years old, but it's a no age statement. Like, there's no age statement on the bottle, but I guess that information they give out without trouble.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I'm gonna take a sip of water just to.
Yeah, we're gonna move on.
Yeah, we're gonna move on to the Willett.
I got these whole grain cracker things on.
Attaboy.
Wassa.
Well, why don't you, before we move on to the Willett, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, like how you got into whiskey, maybe what your first like whiskey that did it for you, made you want to continue with the whiskey journey.
Sure. So I've been a craft beer lover for years. I drink whiskey, for a while, after I was 21, of course. We never really got into it. It was more into craft beer. Became a home brewer. Started, rating beers and reviewing beers and really get into the different flavors, different kind of beers. And I gained a lot of weight after my wife had the second child. She lost the weight. I did not. So I read that, there's no calorie or no carbs in whiskey. So I said, I'll give this a shot. So it's been about a year, I think, since I've been pretty much exclusively whiskey. I still do a little bit of craft beer, but really getting into the whiskey. And so that's really what happened. And I bought the Jim Beam, as everybody does, and that wasn't bad. Actually, from what I remember when I was a kid,
yeah,
the mixers and the Jim Beam and Coke and all that, right?
Of course. Solid.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I got, I believe I got a Willett Bourbon. And that was really the first with some complexity to it, right? So pretty reasonably priced still. And so I was doing that, and then yeah, I just kept acquiring bottles, getting the bourbon, and then a lot of the guys work really in the Scotch. You know, I kept saying, you got Macallan 18, Macallan this. You know, he's a sherry guy, not a peat guy, so he's pointing me to all that, and so I was just doing it. And then I started watching reviews. I watched you know, Scotch Test Dummies, of course, Trini and C, Whiskey Whistle, Ralphie. We all have to, right?
Of course.
Yeah. Worse than Ben. And so I started doing a little bit of research, and then I got into, you know, Old Pulteney was one of my first scotches. Then I decided to go with the smoke. I bought an Ardbeg 10. And the first, I don't know, day or two with it, maybe half the bottle, maybe 3 days, I was like, there's got to be something wrong with this. People are saying this is great. This is awful. I don't know what this is. You know, so then I had it, I don't know, I waited about a week, and then I tried it, and I'm like, oh my God, this is like, you know, you start almost tasting it when you're not drinking, and you crave it, the smoke, right? So, and then it's just, I was sold on peat, you know, so that's where I'm at now.
Yeah, you know what, honestly, like, I always dabble with peated whiskey, but nothing blew my mind the way this Octomore 6.3 does. Like, it's just crazy. I haven't reviewed it yet. I will be reviewing it once Bourbon Month is done on my channel. But it's one of the best whiskeys I've ever tried. Really, really good.
Imagine now.
Wow, Tom is a very generous man.
Oh, nice. Thanks, Tom. It's awesome.
Tom, thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate it. So the Willett, I'm getting a bit of a dry note on the mid palate. What do you think about? Like, have you noticed that at all?
Oh yeah. It's there's a big dryness to this. I don't want to give it away just yet till we keep going, but yeah, no doubt. There's very dry for a bourbon.
It's really nice on the nose. I would say it's also I couldn't find the mash bill. Maybe Peter White is watching and he'll share the mash bill with this one, but I couldn't find the mash bill on my research session. Tom R is saying those are American dollars. That's like $1,000 Canadian. Oh, thank you so much, buddy.
Nice.
Thanks, Tom. I really appreciate it, buddy. As I was saying, I couldn't find the mash bill for the Willett Bourbon. Really, really nice stuff, though. I would say it's a lot more drying than the Elmer T. Lee on the palate, but on the nose, I'm getting like a buttery caramel corn, like strong candy note.
Yeah.
Toffee, caramel, that sort of thing.
Peter White is saying it's sourced, and I do believe that's correct. I think they're building the distillery maybe in 2016. I think they started to make spirit there, but I believe I don't know who it is, MGP, I would think, something like that, or something local to Kentucky. Well, it says straight, right? Didn't I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in Kentucky.
There's a documentary on YouTube. I'm sure a bunch of people have watched it regarding whiskeys that have a huge cult following but don't actually have a distillery of their own, and Willett was one of them. So I found that kind of interesting. It's very, very sought after, and some of the bottles are highly, highly collectible. So I find that really interesting considering they don't actually even have their own distillery.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see some of the other, what it is to see, you know. Someone else is saying that they're drinking a 4-Rose single barrel. Oh, Tom is. So, you know, I kind of compare this to 4-Rose single barrel, to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, the Willett tends to favor rye from the research that I've done. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a large amount of rye whiskey in this.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
Which would make it very common, or sorry, a very great comparable to the Four Rows, right? Because especially, I think the one that Tom is, actually, I'm not sure about the one that Tom has right there, but the one that I've reviewed on my channel is has a heavy rye influence. It's like 35% rye.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if mine is the same. Not sure where it says that on it. I don't. Maybe you have to go on and look at the barrel numbers.
Is that the single barrel cask strength, or is that barrel proof? Sorry, or is that the 50%?
Mine's only the 50.
Yeah, so I don't think they disclose it on the 50, but on the barrel strength single barrels, they put the code as well as the amount of, I guess, rye percentage.
Oh.
Well, yeah. Mine has it. I'm not 100% sure if they do that on all of them, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Tom's getting super corn and sweet. I definitely get that more with the single barrel. This doesn't. I don't think the Willett has that grainier corn. It has sweetness, but definitely not as much of the like caramelized, corn.
So I'm gonna write my mark down for this one. What's your favorite attribute to this one? What would you say?
I honestly think, like you mentioned, the dryness. It's almost drinks like a single malt. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I find, and it's weird because I've been tasting a lot of bourbons and American whiskeys lately. So I drank my first single malt all month, like a couple of days ago, and it took me a little bit of getting used to. It's such a weird adjustment because I'm used to only drinking single malts, and then to move back to a single malt after taking a little bit of a break from it, it was an interesting thing because I'm noticing that there's a lot of, and it's clear why people are drawn to bourbon because a lot of people really like that soft, subtle note that bourbon has, despite the high abbreviation. Sorry, ABV. I always say abbreviation. Which is not what it's supposed to mean at all. But anyway, alcohol by volume, despite the high alcohol by volume, bourbons tend to be a lot smoother than single malts for the most part. I mean, certain single malts are incredible, of course. You guys know what I feel about single malts. I'm not knocking them, of course, but it's just interesting how much older a single malt needs to be as smooth as some bourbons.
Oh, yeah, I definitely noticed that, where, an 8-year-old bourbon is to a 12-year-old scotch, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I would say sometimes even more. Like some 8-year-old bourbons are just as smooth as an 18-year-old scotch. Sometimes. I mean, I tend to gravitate towards 18-year-old scotch. That's kind of my like money age. But the 12s can be, depending on which one you have, a little bit harsh. Not necessarily harsh, but not as smooth as you're looking for.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
All right, let's move on to the Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Rye. As most of my subscribers know, as most of the people that have been watching my channel lately know, I'm absolutely obsessed with this single barrel Jack Daniel's line that they've released. And this is actually earlier on tonight was the first time I've had a sip of the Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Rye, and again, super impressed. So this is about, I think, I know I had it before. I'm gonna double check. I have it in my notes somewhere.
Want to see the bottle?
Yeah. Let's look at the bottle in the meantime.
All right. It looks like all the other single barrels, the Select and the Barrel Proof, which I don't actually have the Select yet.
So it's an undisclosed age statement, but from what I've heard, it's around 7 to 9 years old, and the mash bill is 70% rye, 18% corn, and 12% malted barley.
Yeah, I think part of it.
But what do you?
I think part of it.
Go ahead.
Is there like a echo? Are you getting that?
Is there like a echo? Are you getting that?
You know, there's a little bit of a freeze on the picture. I'm not sure if everybody else is getting that or it's just us.
I turn all my Wi-Fi off.
I turn all my Wi-Fi off and all my other.
Yeah, nobody seems to be complaining about it in the chat. Scott's coming to us from Alabama tonight. Nice.
He says. Go Buckeyes. Thanks for joining us, Scott.
So Peter is saying that the JD Rye is okay. I'm loving the nose on this thing. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I could smell it for an hour or two.
Now it doesn't have that like super banana dessert type note that you would pick up from a normal JD Rye, JD whiskey, sorry. But there is definitely some sort of fruity note. Almost like a little less on the banana, more on the like strawberry smoothie kind of note. Like a strawberry banana smoothie that has like a quarter of a banana and a whole bunch of strawberries.
Yeah, maybe a little cherry in there.
Yeah.
Dark cherry?
Definitely some berry or cherry of some sort. Red fruit of some sort.
I get with the charcoal, I get a little bit of like a marshmallow fire, like when you're roasting the marshmallows over a fire.
Yeah. No, when they pass it through the maple charcoal, I think that's what gives Jack their distinct banana type note. So I'm guessing, yeah, maybe that's where you're getting that. But super sweet on the nose. I'm gonna dive in here.
Cheers.
So it's sweet, but there's something about the palate that I'm not digging 100%. And almost like maybe it's like there's too much. Maybe the rye doesn't coincide with the charcoal too much, like as easily as other bourbons or the bourbon mash bill, does. I know it's not technically a bourbon, but it's, I think, 70% corn whiskey and then 13 and 12 when it comes to rye and malted barley for the single barrel proof and the single barrel select. So this is basically almost the opposite. Well, not quite. It's a little less rye, I think. What did I say again? I can't remember.
You said 70% corn. I think it's about 35%. Well, it can't be 35 at 70, but I think it's higher rye.
No, I said 70% rye. Sorry, you're right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 70% rye, 18% corn, 12% malted barley.
Yeah, so not a bourbon, right?
Yeah, it's technically not a bourbon, obviously, right? No matter what, Tennessee whiskey won't be considered a bourbon just because of the fact that they pass it through maple charcoal. But I guess, could it still be considered a straight rye then? I'm not sure the rules there.
I don't think rye has that. It says Tennessee rye whiskey. I think you can consider a straight whiskey, but I don't think rye has those kind of straight or anything like that. E.H. Taylor does do the 100 proof bottled and barn rye, they call it, right? But I don't think there's technically a restriction like there is with bourbon on rye. I could be wrong. You comment if I am. But it's it's. I'm not sure I really get that it's a huge rye, you know.
Yeah. Interesting. There's something about the palate that's a little bit off-putting to me. Do you pick up that note?
I get almost like a bitter candy corn, kind of like a candy corn from last year or something. It's in the back.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's definitely. There's so many nice elements to this whiskey. It's a shame that I'm getting that note, and I don't know if it's just maybe my palate. I'm gonna take one more sip and then I'll give this a fair grade.
Peter White says that the rye falls under the same rule. Straight rye is 51% rye. So
yeah, straight rye has to be at least 51%, just like a bourbon has to be 51% corn.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. Something not doing it for me on the palate. Although there are some really, really nice sweet notes to it. So
yeah, it's not bad. Not bad sipping whiskey, but
at the LCBO, the Jack Daniel's single barrel rye goes for I think $60. It's $5 more, or it could be $65. It's $5 or $10 more than the single barrel select. I think the single barrel select is a buy way before this, by like a long shot. And that's simply because of the palate. Something about the palate I'm just not totally digging. I don't know what it is. I'm going to have to, yeah. All right. I'm going to take a run through of all three of these before I announce my marks, but is Tom for real right now? What's he doing? Tom, thank you very much. Honestly, I don't even know what to say, Tom. Thank you very much, buddy.
Wow. Awesome.
What do you say? Listen to Ralphie. Rum is a good change. I agree. Tom was asking earlier if I was considering doing a rum month, and I've done a few rum reviews. I think, I don't know. Tom, you're kind of swaying me now. I feel like I should. I've done some really nice ones. That's the only problem. The only ones that I've left out purposely is the El Dorado 21-year-old, because that's my favorite rum at the moment. And I have, like this, Ron Millionero, I probably butchered that, XO sample right here. But I haven't opened it yet, and I haven't even tasted it yet. He probably knows more about it than I do. But yeah, thank you very much, Tom. Attaboy. Now he's rocking the whiskey in the 6-ounce.
The dry cap.
What's that, Mel? Sorry, I missed that because something's going on with the broadcast. I can't hear everything that you're saying.
I was just saying that the driving cap with the wool was getting a little hot.
Well, if I have, although there is bias, of course, I must say I like that hat on you better.
The logo's tremendous, man. It's awesome. Love it. Hey, as far as rum goes, if anyone's interested, I was talking to Swami. He gave me a couple of the cheap ones to try a little while back. The El Dorado 12 and the RL Seals, I think it is. So I don't know if you guys have tried those, but I've been meaning to try them just to get into it. Yeah,
for sure. Maybe if I do a rum month, I'll have Tom on the channel, and then Mel, you can join us in the conversation.
We gotta have Tom.
Yeah, Tom's a beat with these donations tonight. All right, I'm gonna do a run through of each one of these. I'm gonna give it a mark. You don't have to, but you're more than welcome to.
Yeah. Elmer T. Lee starting right up.
Yeah. So Elmer T. Lee, such a there's a fruity note that I'm not able to pick it up or put a finger on exactly what fruit it is that it reminds me of.
Maybe a little bit of maybe fig.
Yeah, there's some fig, but like something fresher, more maybe like a raspberry or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe a berry. Definitely not like a pear and apple.
But this one is super smooth, man. Really, really nice. How do you feel about this one?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, it's $40. It's a great bargain buy. I mean, I would put up with the Four Roses single barrel. I put up there with Blanton's. I love it.
There's a cola note. Like I'm picking up like a little bit of a flat Coke note, like a sweet caramel Coke note at the end, Coca-Cola kind of thing.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think if it was a higher proof, I think you'd get that more.
Yeah, I agree. And that's the thing is, it's bottled at 45%. I wish it was a little bit higher, but I guess you can't really complain about 45%. I'm going to say this one's an A for me. It's definitely in the 86, 87 range, something like that.
I would agree.
Yeah? Cool.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to take a sip, and then I'm going to go back to the Willett. Yeah, definitely more on the hay, grassy. There's sweet elements to it, but definitely more on the the grassy note here.
Yeah, this one to me drinks like.
Sorry, I missed that last part. What did you say? Drinks like?
Drinks a lot like a scotch to me.
Yeah, I could see that. I wonder what the in this one.
Yeah, I'm not sure on this.
You don't get that. The only thing is I don't get that like that malty note. I get something a little less, a little bit more fresh. That would probably be the right word.
Yeah. You could kind of draw a bit of the corn. You really dive deep.
Yeah, for sure. If I had to say there's one note on the palate that really stands out to me, it's probably like a fresh cut grass. That's the best way to describe it. Sometimes I'll cut the grass and you literally get some of those bourbon notes once you've cut it. It's kind of strange. More now, obviously, when I've been doing this channel, that I notice it. I tend to I'll grab a bottle of vanilla that my wife's cooking with or whatever, and I'll have a sniff of that or some of the brown sugar just to kind of keep my senses intact, because I find that otherwise they all tend to smell very similar, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good way to do it, even with spices. You know?
Yeah, cinnamon, but I'm not getting any of that here. I do get a little bit of vanilla. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give this one a B+. I know that's not the best mark, but it's that grassy note that's not doing it for me, and it's a little bit too dry on the palate. Really nice. For what did you say? Was it like $45?
Yeah, $44.99.
Yeah, so you can't go wrong for $44.99. I think there's probably some sort of secondary market for this one, considering it's very hard to come by. So I wouldn't pay the secondary price on this one. Not sure what it goes for. Do you have any idea what it might go for?
Secondary?
Yeah.
No, I never really looked into it because my friends had it and brought it over, and I tried it before I was able to find it. So I had it pretty early on, so I never really searched it out.
You know what though? It's a good whiskey.
it's quality. You could tell it's quality. You know, the taste might not be there, but the quality is for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, this is where I tend to put in my own disclaimers because there's people out there that might think I'm absolutely crazy for not absolutely loving this whiskey. But it's just the flavor profile is just not mine. You know what I mean? It's not something I seek when I'm looking for whiskey.
Yeah, you know, like Angel's Envy to me is a lot like that. You know, it's people love it, and I just it's good, but I wouldn't seek it out or pay $50 for it.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. So that's a great example, actually, because Angel's Envy is one of those whiskeys that everybody talks about if you talk bourbon. Really nice stuff, but it's not for everybody. All right, I'm going to move on to this. Right. Sorry, what were you going to say?
No, I definitely agree with that.
Are you a Game of Thrones fan at all, Mel?
You know, I've been watching new stuff, and I've been meaning to watch it. I've been meaning to. 2 years it's been out.
2 years it's been out. I just.
That's okay. A lot of people really excited to see what's going to happen this weekend. I'm actually going to be doing a live event after the season finale this weekend, this Sunday coming up. I think it'll be interesting. I've never done anything of that sort. I want to kind of make it a trend where big events will happen. I'm calling it Whiskey After the Thrones. I would like to do some whiskey after the fight and whiskey after the game when the Leafs start playing again, that sort of thing. We'll see. We'll see how this weekend goes, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, I'll join you with the Leafs for sure.
Who do you go for?
You know, I grew up a Red Wings fan, sorry to say, but you know, that was the only option, and then Columbus got the team. But you know, I like the East. You know, I like the play of the East. So Boston, Toronto, Montreal. I like them all, to be honest with you.
Right on. Well, Columbus had a really good team actually last year, so we'll see if they can continue that this year. They have some interesting players, so we'll see. I wouldn't say they have they have some good stars. I wouldn't say they have a superstar but they're definitely up there. I'm looking at
trade away Johansson, right? Ryan Johansson. They traded him, and then they got a bunch of young guys. So we'll see.
Yeah, exactly. They picked up Seth Jones in that trade, I think, right?
Yeah. He was really good for him. Really good for him.
Yeah, he's a solid player for sure. So he will be probably a superstar, but just not yet.
Yeah, nice seeing next to Jack Johnson.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So JD single barrel rye.
I'm getting that candy, some sort of candy corn, like bad candy corn or something.
Yeah, you know what? I think this is one of those things where it improves with a little bit of time in the glass. That's Crazy says he's got a good hockey trivia question. All right, shoot, buddy. Let's hear what it is. Yeah, you know what? This last sip actually improved it a little bit, I will say. It's on the nose, it's really, really nice. I would say definitely one of the better ones out there. One of the better straight ryes that I've tasted. On the palate, there's that one note that I'm not super crazy about.
Oh, that's a good one.
The last player not to wear a helmet. I don't even know that answer, to be honest with you. My brothers are watching tonight. Maybe they'll know better than I do.
Okay, what if we guess a team? Will that count?
A team?
Yeah, the team he played for.
Yeah, go for it.
Canadians.
The Canadians.
Canadians. How do you guys say it?
Let's see. I just say the Canadians. I I have 3 brothers. 2 of them are Montreal Canadiens fans, and one's a Buffalo Sabres fan. Figure that one out.
What?
Yeah.
Ah, Craig McTavish.
Craig McTavish.
I had the country right.
Nice, Peter. Well done.
Does he get something?
Sure, I'll give. I see Peter on a regular basis, so I'll give him a sample for that.
There you go. There you go. So, hey, Rob, I want to. What do you think? If comparing this to Lot 40, I would go with Lot 40 every day.
Yeah, I would say this beats Lot 40 on the nose, 100%. The nose on this JD rye is incredible. Once you taste it, there's just something like rotted. Like, that's the note that I'm getting. I hate to say it, but there's something rotted. It's like rotted banana. I guess that's what I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I kind of was alluding with the bad candy corn or the old candy corn kind of or something.
Yeah. So for those reasons, I gotta give it like a lower mark. I don't even want to mark this one because I feel bad because I feel like maybe if I had a few more tastes of it, that would change. But yeah, there's something. So I don't know. Peter was right. I didn't expect him to be right in this case because I actually really like the JD single barrel stuff, but I don't know. This one's just not doing it for me. I don't think I'm going to mark this one. I'm going to leave that off the books because I don't think it would be a fair assessment of the whiskey.
Yeah, you're right about the aroma.
Yeah, you're right about the aroma.
I said I could smell for like half hour. You know, I
said I could smell for like half hour. You know, I could.
Yeah, no, it's really, really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
Crazy said that bad.
No,
Rob.
and that's
Crazy said that bad, Rob.
No, there's just something off-putting about the palate. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's the glass I poured it in. I don't know. Maybe I didn't wash it properly or something. I don't know.
Not a Scotch test dummies Glencairn.
Not a Scotch test dummies Glencairn.
I don't know. There's definitely something on the palate that's throwing me off, and for that reason, if I had to mark it, I would say it's a C. To be honest with you, I don't want to like shy away from actually marking this because I've tasted it on camera. Honestly, to be honest with you, like marking whiskey that I don't like because number one, if I'm doing a review on a bottle, I don't want to have a bottle sitting on my table for months and months and months just because I don't like it. This one's bottled at 47%. It's rye heavy, as I've said in the review already. There's probably some people that think I'm absolutely crazy for giving it that mark. I absolutely adore the single barrel select. I love the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. Like, it's one of my favorite whiskeys.
Oh yeah, amazing.
But for whatever reason, I'm just not digging the single barrel rye tonight. I tried my best to be bold, Tom. I gave it a C. That's one of my lower marks for sure. A C is like, I don't know, 64. That's not a typical whiskey in my opinion, but
Glad I'm not in your class, Rob.
Glad I'm not in your class, Rob.
what's that?
Glad I'm not. I'm
Glad
not.
I'm not.
What grader?
What grader?
Oh well. So it says nice t-shirt, Rob. Yeah, this is a Trenny and C t-shirt for those of you that don't know. We did the big t-shirt swap back in the day. They have a couple of mine. If you watch Trenny and C's intro closely, you'll see that Trenny's wearing my T-shirt in the intro, a Whiskey in the Six T-shirt. So I figured it was only fair that I fit in this shirt once in a while. All right, so Mel, tell me a little bit more about yourself. Tell these guys how to find your channel. Tell these guys what you plan to do in the near future. Shoot.
Sure. All right. Well, once again, thanks for having me on. I'm just getting into it. I've been watching all you guys. I try to support you guys because early on I was watching the reviews and it steered me away from some bad bottles, right? So that's kind of what the premise is to watch us, right? So that I live in on the east side of Cleveland, about 20 minutes outside of Cleveland, Ohio. You guys may have seen me in opening some packages from the Scotch Test Dummies. Bart thinks I'm some computer guy and have this huge house, but it's really not. Just looks like it. So, you know, I have 2 kids, married, just trying to get into a new hobby I could stick with. Nice being a part of you guys. I know, Rob, you mentioned before that you don't have a lot of friends who are into this, so it's kind of nice to be with people who are into the same things, and I agree with that. You know, better than drinking in my basement alone, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I'm on. I have a website. I haven't done much with it. I used to do web programming back in the day, you know, '99, whatever. Not to date myself, but I have that. I'm going to start getting into that more. It's www.basementdrammer.com. Instagram and Twitter @BasementDrammer. YouTube is The Basement Drammer. Facebook is Basement Drammer Mel. I'm trying to get it all. I don't know which one to use, so I'm trying to get them all combined. But yeah, I'm just getting into it, and you know, thanks to all you guys. I mean, you guys are awesome, and it's just fun to be a part of it. I'm just having fun, right? I'm drinking with you guys, trying to have some fun. That's all.
That's the beauty of all of this. We're all just doing it because it's fun. I remember, well, a couple of days ago, I was talking to a buddy, and I was telling him that Google's starting to pay me for doing this. And he's like, you get paid to drink whiskey and talk about it with some guys on YouTube? I'm like, well, we're not making big dollars, that's for sure. I'm definitely very deep into the red when it comes to this channel. But no one's doing this to make money, but obviously it's an added bonus, which is a nice segue into thanking tonight, because I definitely didn't expect that. Super, super nice guy. Tom, I'm going to try to fit in a rum month for you for sure. That was very generous of you. I really appreciate it. So,
yeah, Tom's a great guy. I've seen a lot of comments.
Yeah, Tom's a great guy. I've seen a lot of comments.
Yeah, for sure. He's been around for a while, so one of the gems as far as subscribers go, for sure. Yeah. Lastly, I want to thank Mel, of course, for joining me tonight. He was my first or second Patreon, I can't remember. Super, super nice guy. Please, everybody, if you're watching right now, when you watch this later on, go to his channel, hit the subscribe button, check out what he has to say about whiskey, because he's a really, really nice guy. And I really appreciate him sending me these 3 samples. That was very generous of him. And I really appreciate him being on my channel. And I appreciate the support.
All right. Thanks, Rob.
Yeah. So, Mel, stay on the line. I'm going to stop the broadcast, and we will continue chatting.
All right. Thanks, everybody who's watching. A lot of fun.
Cheers, guys.